Picture yourself in the heart of North London, where the echoes of past glories mingle with the restless hopes of the present. Arsenal Football Club stands at a critical juncture, one that could define not only the fate of the next season, but the very DNA of the club for years, even decades to come. This summer's transfer window is more than a mere reshuffling of personnel. It is a high-stakes chess match where every move could tip the balance between mediocrity and a return to the elite echelons of European football. For millions of Gunners fans around the world, spanning every time zone from London to Lagos and Bangkok to Buenos Aires, the anticipation is almost tangible. Their dreams, their anxieties, their very identity as supporters are bound up in the decisions being made behind the scenes at the Emirates Stadium right now. Why does this window matter so much? Because Arsenal has reached a crossroads, an inflection point after years of near misses, progress, and heartbreak. The past campaign was a microcosm of the club's journey, flashes of brilliance, spells of dominance, but ultimately lacking the killer instinct to clinch the big prizes. The Gunners dazzled with slick passing and attacking verve, yet in decisive moments, a clinical edge was missing. It was a season that promised so much, only to fall short at the final hurdle. In the swirling maelstrom of the transfer market, the stakes have never been higher. Across England, Premier League rivals are fueled by unprecedented financial firepower. Clubs like Chelsea, Manchester United, Liverpool, and Manchester City operate with vast war chests, routinely spending hundreds of millions of pounds in the relentless pursuit of glory. Each summer, the headlines are dominated by seismic deals, eye-watering transfer fees, stratospheric wages, and the constant churn of star talent. Yet Arsenal's leadership, steered by the highly respected sporting director Andrea Berta, is charting a different course. Berta, renowned across the football world for his shrewd eye and long-term vision, is determined not to be swept away by the madness of the market. This is not about chasing the biggest names for fleeting social media buzz. It is about constructing a squad with the right blend of youth, experience, and tactical adaptability, one that can not only compete for trophies now, but also sustain excellence for years to come. In the words of transfer expert Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal are exploring multiple striker options, but no official bids have been made yet. This approach speaks volumes about the club's patience and discretion, qualities often undervalued in an era of instant gratification. Instead of knee-jerk reactions, Arsenal is focused on the bigger picture, carefully weighing every move with an eye on both current needs and future ambitions. Let's set the scene with even more clarity. Arsenal have just navigated a season filled with both excitement and exasperation. Their attacking play, anchored by young stars like Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, and Captain Martin Odegaard, produced moments of magic. Still, when it mattered most, the team stumbled, unable to convert dominance into decisive victories. The absence of a reliable, prolific striker was glaring. Too many chances went begging, too many points were dropped against resolute opponents, and ultimately, City's relentless machine pulled away at the summit. The midfield, once marshaled by the dependable Thomas Partey, now faces a looming void. Partey's contract expires at the end of June, marking the end of an era. For years, he provided the backbone, the leadership, composure, and tactical discipline that allowed others to shine. His departure is not just a personnel change. It is a seismic shift, stripping the squad of experience and forcing a rethink at the very heart of the team. Arsenal's transfer blueprint is as ambitious as it is pragmatic. At the top of the agenda, a world-class striker. The Gunners have been linked to Benjamin Sesko and Victor Gyökeres, both among the continent's hottest prospects. Yet negotiations have proved tricky. Their clubs are holding out for astronomical fees, well over 70 or even 80 million euros, and the competition is fierce. Enter Hugo Ekitike, the French sensation who set the Bundesliga alight with Eintracht Frankfurt last season. Ekitike's numbers are jaw-dropping, 22 goals in 48 appearances, an output that puts him in rare company among under 24 forwards in Europe's top 5 leagues. His blend of pace, technical skill, and movement off the ball has scouts raving. But the path to signing him is fraught with obstacles. His release clause is set at 60 million euros, and his wage expectations are among the highest in the current Arsenal squad. According to insider David Ornstein, Ekitike is on Arsenal's radar, but his high wage demands could be a stumbling block. This is where Arsenal's famed wage structure comes into play. Over the past decade, the club has worked tirelessly to avoid the pitfalls that have ensnared rivals: bloated wage bills, dressing room unrest, and financial overreach. Disrupting this balance for a single player risks creating fissures that can undermine squad cohesion and long-term stability. The decision-makers at the Emirates must weigh short-term gain against the potential for long-term strain. The striker conundrum, however, is only the tip of the iceberg. With Thomas Partey's exit all but certain, the midfield requires urgent reinforcement. Two names have emerged as prime targets: Christian Norgard of Brentford and Martin Zubimendi of Real Sociedad. Norgard, celebrated for his defensive acumen and tactical awareness, could bring a sense of order and grit to the engine room. Meanwhile, Zubimendi's mix of technical finesse and physical robustness has earned rave reviews in La Liga. Football journalist James Ollie observes, Zubimendi would bring much-needed steel to Arsenal's midfield, a quality that has faded with Partey's decline. Defensive solidity, another cornerstone of any title-winning side, is also on the agenda. Arsenal are closely monitoring Christian Mosquera, the young Valencia defender whose stock has soared in recent months. His release clause, a staggering €80 million, reflects both his immense potential and the inflated state of the current market. As Charles Watts points out, Mosquera is a promising young defender, but he lacks experience at the highest level. The Gunners must decide whether to invest in raw potential or seek more established alternatives. The goalkeeping situation is equally pressing. Last season's uncertainty between the posts, oscillating between Aaron Ramsdale and loan signings, has prompted Arsenal to consider Kepa Arrizabalaga as a more permanent fix. With an €18 million option to buy following his loan, Kepa brings valuable experience and composure. Yet, questions persist about his ability to recapture the form that once made him the world's most expensive goalkeeper. Is he the right man to anchor Arsenal's backline in the high-pressure cauldron of English and European football? To truly grasp Arsenal's current philosophy, we must delve deeper into Andrea Berta's vision. Berta is not simply assembling a collection of talented individuals, he is constructing an ecosystem designed to thrive both on the pitch and on the balance sheet. His track record, forged at clubs like Atletico Madrid, is built on identifying undervalued assets, players whose skill sets and personalities will not only improve the team immediately, but also appreciate in value over time. Under Berta's stewardship, Arsenal have quietly become one of Europe's leaders in player resale profits. In the past 5 years, the club's net transfer surplus rivals that of even the shrewdest operators, such as Borussia Dortmund or RB Leipzig. This financial resilience is not just a footnote, it is a strategic advantage, allowing the club to pounce on opportunities when they arise and reinvest smartly in new talent. Contrast this approach with the chaos that has sometimes enveloped other Premier League giants. Chelsea and Manchester United, for instance, have repeatedly splurged on marquee names, only to be saddled with underperforming squads and sky-high wage bills. The consequence has been a cycle of managerial upheaval, squad overhauls, and, at times, missed European qualification. Arsenal's model, while less flashy, is built for the long haul, for weathering the storms that inevitably buffet even the most successful organizations. As Amy Lawrence aptly notes, Arsenal need a striker who can provide a different dimension to their attack. The club is not just searching for a fox in the box. They need someone who can link play, press from the front, and galvanize those around him. In modern football, where pressing and transition play are paramount, the ideal forward must be as comfortable dropping deep to knit attacks as he is finishing chances in the penalty area. Yet the risks are undeniable. Should the Gunners fail to secure their top targets, they may be forced to pursue less proven alternatives or rely on current squad members who, while talented, have yet to demonstrate the consistency required for a sustained title push. This is not just a matter of statistics or skill sets. It is about mentality, confidence, and the psychological ripple effect that a disappointing transfer window can have on the entire club. The pressure to act, and to act wisely, is immense. Arsenal fans, whose patience has been tested through over a decade of transition, demand both ambition and assurance. They want to see their club compete for the biggest prizes, but not at the cost of the stability and identity that have become synonymous with the Arsenal way. It is a delicate balance, requiring both courage and restraint from those at the helm. To truly understand the significance of this moment, let's look back at Arsenal's recent history. The club's Invincibles season in 2004, when they went unbeaten in the Premier League, remains the stuff of legend. That team, led by Arsene Wenger and captained by Patrick Vieira, was the perfect cocktail of talent, leadership, and culture. But the years that followed were marked by austerity, as the financial demands of building the Emirates Stadium forced a more frugal approach. While this secured the club's long-term future, it also led to a decade of near misses, second-place finishes, cup heartbreaks, and a gradual slip behind the league's new financial giants. The last 5 years have been a period of renewal. Unai Emery's brief spell at the helm gave way to Mikel Arteta's tenure, which has been defined by tactical innovation and a bold commitment to youth. Arteta's Arsenal plays with a clear identity, possession-based, high-pressing, and relentlessly energetic. Yet, as any observer will tell you, the leap from contenders to champions requires more than just style. It demands substance, depth, and the ability to deliver in crunch moments. Looking at the wider football landscape, Arsenal's predicament is emblematic of the challenges facing ambitious clubs everywhere. The Premier League is now the richest, most competitive league on the planet. Manchester City, fueled by state-backed resources, have set a new standard with their relentless trophy hauls. Newcastle United, under new ownership, are rising fast, investing heavily in infrastructure and talent. In such a hyper-competitive environment, standing still is not an option. But neither is reckless spending, a lesson Arsenal's leadership seems to have learned the hard way. So what are the possible scenarios as this transfer saga unfolds? Let's imagine a few. First, the dream scenario. Arsenal successfully secures a proven world-class striker, perhaps even outmaneuvering rivals for Ekitike or Sesko. Add to that shrewd midfield and defensive reinforcements, and suddenly the Gunners are transformed into genuine title contenders. The ripple effects are profound. Not only would goal-scoring spike, but tactical flexibility would improve, and the club could attract even more investment. As club legends have said, such a signing could elevate Arsenal's attack to a level unseen since the days of Thierry Henry. Second, a more measured outcome. Arsenal opts for a pragmatic approach, signing a promising but less expensive option like Ekitike and investing in long-term prospects across the squad. This route preserves the club's financial health, keeps the wage structure intact, and ensures sustainability. However, when the season reaches its decisive stretch, the squad might lack the extra spark needed to outpace bold-spending rivals. As Charles Watts warns, playing it too safe in the market could see Arsenal outpaced by their rivals, who are ready to make bold moves. Third, the cautionary tale. Arsenal hesitates, gets outflanked, or simply cannot reach agreements for their primary targets. Forced to rely on internal solutions or last-minute loan deals, the club could find itself short of quality and depth, undermining its ability to fight on multiple fronts. The lessons of the past are clear. Missed windows can set a club back years, especially in today's unforgiving football economy. But the decisions now being made are not just about next season, they are about shaping the next decade. Andrea Berta's philosophy of targeting players with high resale value is more than just prudent business. It is a blueprint for sustainable excellence, a way to insulate the club from the boom and bust cycles that have destabilized so many rivals. For business leaders and organizations outside of football, Arsenal's approach offers a masterclass in strategic investment, balancing short-term performance with long-term security. Flexibility is another hallmark of Arsenal's modern strategy. The willingness to pursue multiple striker options, even as negotiations with first-choice targets drag on, shows the importance of adaptability. In a world where market dynamics can shift overnight, the ability to pivot and seize new opportunities is often what separates the winners from the also-rans. This mindset, rooted in careful contingency planning and resourcefulness, is invaluable in any competitive field. The importance of a strong core cannot be overstated. Letting go of stalwarts like Thomas Partey may seem risky, but sometimes renewal is essential for evolution. The challenge is to ensure that the next generation is ready to step up, not just in terms of talent, but in terms of mentality and leadership. For leaders in any walk of life, knowing when to hold on and when to let go is one of the toughest, most consequential choices they will ever face. Let's consider some historical parallels. In the past, clubs like Borussia Dortmund and Ajax Amsterdam have built success on similar principles, developing young talent, selling at a premium, and reinvesting wisely. Borussia Dortmund, for instance, famously nurtured stars like Robert Lewandowski, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and Jadon Sancho before selling them at massive profit and using those funds to rebuild. While they have not always matched the trophy hauls of their richer counterparts, they have maintained relevance and competitiveness at the highest level. Arsenal, with its global brand and London location, has the potential to go even further if they execute this model to perfection. Expert opinions add further weight to the analysis. Alan Smith, former Arsenal striker and now a respected pundit, notes, Partey's departure leaves a vacuum in midfield that must be addressed. Failure to do so risks not only losing control in games but also missing out on vital points over a long season. Amy Lawrence adds, "The modern Premier League demands versatility. Arsenal needs players who can switch roles seamlessly, adapt to different systems, and maintain intensity every 3 days." Let's also factor in the broader economic context. The global football market is more volatile than ever, buffeted by currency fluctuations, new regulations, and shifting fan expectations. Clubs that overextend themselves financially risk severe consequences: transfer bans, points deductions, or even forced sales. Arsenal's conservative, data-driven approach may not always grab the headlines, but it is designed to navigate these choppy waters with resilience. There are also psychological dimensions at play. A blockbuster signing can galvanize not just the squad, but the entire fan base. It sends a message, to rivals, to sponsors, and to the world, that Arsenal means business. Conversely, a disappointing window can sap morale, leading to sluggish starts and mounting pressure on both players and coaches. The intangible benefits of bold, well-executed moves should not be underestimated. For supporters, every transfer rumor is cause for both hope and anxiety. Social media buzzes with speculation. Will Arsenal finally land the striker they have craved since the days of Robin van Persie? Will a midfield dynamo arrive to dictate tempo and snuff out opposition attacks? Or will familiar frustrations resurface, with late-window panic buys and missed opportunities? Yet, beneath the surface drama, there are timeless lessons to be gleaned. Arsenal's measured long-term approach is a reminder that, in both football and life, sustainable success is rarely built on shortcuts. Whether you are managing a football club, running a business, or pursuing your personal ambitions, the principles remain the same. Invest wisely, plan for the future, adapt to changing circumstances, and never undervalue the importance of a strong foundation. In fact, a little-known fact underlines Arsenal's quiet strength. Under Andrea Berta's stewardship, the club has generated some of the highest player resale profits in Europe over the past 5 years. This hidden advantage gives Arsenal the financial muscle to strike decisively when the right opportunity arises, even if it means waiting patiently while others rush and falter. Sometimes patience is not a weakness, but a superpower. So, what does all this mean for you, the viewer? Beyond the daily drama of the transfer market, Arsenal's strategy offers universal lessons. It is about finding the balance between risk and caution, ambition and prudence. The coming months will test not only Arsenal's negotiation skills, but also its identity, its ability to blend tradition with innovation, and to turn potential into tangible success. Now we turn the spotlight to you. Do you believe that Arsenal's patience and careful planning will finally pay off, ushering in a new era of glory? Or do you think the time has come for bolder risks and headline-grabbing moves? Share your thoughts in the comments below.